ladies, how are we all doing? Today we are going to be talking autumn essentials, and I love making these videos because it's also one of my favorite things to do for my own wardrobe. I just find that when I go in with a plan on how I'm going to update the wardrobe for the upcoming season, rather than just be influenced by all of the trends and the social media beautiful posts and pictures that I see, I get so much more enjoyment out of my wardrobe, making sure that I have sort of my essentials, my bases covered first. And this is not quite a capsule wardrobe. I am working on my autumn capsule wardrobe, so I will be filming that shortly. If you are interested, keep an eye out for that. But this is a great thing to do either if you are not into creating a capsule wardrobe, or if you just want to make sure that you have sort of your bases covered before you start playing with any of the trends, which I have already filmed a video on. If you want to check out the trends that I will be adding to my wardrobe this autumn, then you can check out that video. I will link it somewhere on the screen or down in the description box below. And let's just get started with the first piece, which is not going to be a surprise to absolutely anyone, whether you are new on this channel or not. But the absolute first essential I always make sure to have in my autumn wardrobe is a trench coat. And this year I have added this beautiful, I want to say specimen, this beautiful piece right here. This is from COS. If you saw my most recent COS haul, you will have seen this. I could not stop gushing about it. It's not revolutionary by any means. It's a classic, and for good reason, I think. My favorite detail is obviously the double color here. I just think that it's adding such a statement to a piece without making it over the top. It's still very classic, and when you're looking at essentials, that is very much what you want to focus on. I also have an older one from And Other Stories. I've shown this many times. This one is definitely a little bit heavier, so this is great for slightly warmer weather. And also it just drapes so beautifully. I'm so happy I added this. But I also have this oversized one that is definitely a little bit of a statement in a different way, simply because it is so oversized. And I bought this, I think 2 years ago, I think. And they have brought it back for good reason, because it is such a cool piece. I really, really love it. So both of these are obviously fantastic options that I would recommend. They are both more on the oversized side, which I think is great if you want to have something that will layer over a lot of different things. But I always say this when it comes to these essentials: go for something that feels true to your style. And the next piece I think is vital to prioritize for your autumn wardrobe, and it's definitely an autumn essential, is a season appropriate bag. And I have shown this particular one on my channel a fair bit. This is the Coach Brooklyn. I made a review of this if you are interested in it, but I obviously don't think you need to get this exact one. My point really is that having at least one bag that you can put on and it makes any outfit feel a little bit more, or hopefully a lot more, autumnal is just worth so much to your autumn wardrobe. It can really transform those outfits that can feel very boring and just a bit lackluster, and just make them season appropriate immediately. And I also have previously relied quite a lot on having black handbags, simply because it felt very convenient. Like, I knew black would always go with black. But once I started veering into brown, I got so much more enjoyment out of my outfits. It just has a completely different feel to it. It's a lot softer, and I feel like it's a lot more fun to style it during the autumn season. So I can highly recommend it, especially if you have, like I used to, relied a lot on black accessories. A brown or a very autumnal handbag is just the best. And obviously, if you want to be a little bit more trendy with it, you can also get a suede handbag. I would stick still within the brown neutral tones, but that extra detail is definitely going to push it even more into sort of autumn territory. Obviously, just as a caveat, I am going to say that when you do buy brown handbags or accessories in general, like you can see I have a brown belt on today, these two browns don't necessarily work the best together, so you might want to find a shade that you really love and then stick with that for maybe a pair of shoes and a belt, if that is something you wear quite a lot. Just just to make the styling a little bit easier. We are going to move on to the third piece that I think is an absolute essential, and I am kind of wearing it at the moment, and that is striped tops. This is from H&M, and this is a knit top, and I have been wearing striped tops all of summer. I have been wearing this top right here, and I just think it is such a beautiful print. If you are looking for a print that still feels really classic and timeless and sophisticated, I have been obsessed with these for so long, and I include them in a lot of my capsule wardrobes as well. I have talked about this one so much, and I really like having a bit of variety for these essentials. Obviously you can stick with one if you want to dip your toe into wearing stripes, but if you love them as much as I do, I think it's really worth having some sort of short sleeve options and some long sleeve options. It's just such an easy way of adding a little bit more to very, very basic outfits. Now I want to stick with the tops for the next essential, and this one does set the budget back a little bit, but I think it is well worth the investment. An autumn essential for me is definitely a cashmere knit top. As you can see, I have a couple here, and although some of the pieces in this video are going to be a little bit more trend-led, this is a classic piece that you can love and wear forever, so I truly think it is worth the investment. I've bought some of my cashmere pieces on sale as well. Just make sure you shop around for something that fits you really well and something that is in a color you know you will wear. I'm not going to say it has to be a neutral. As long as it is a color you know you wear a lot and you can pair with a lot of different pieces in your wardrobe, I say go for it. You don't necessarily want to layer up in a super chunky knit jumper, and these are just a little bit lighter and they're still just so luxurious and beautiful. You can wear them for work or for relaxing. It's nothing too exciting, but also if you are excited by materials and fabric the way I am, you probably find it a little bit exciting after all. Now, since we did something super basic, let me talk about something I find to be an essential in my autumn wardrobe that is definitely more trend-led, and that is suede outerwear. You can either go the budget route where you buy something that is faux suede, which means it's just fabric, or if you have the budget for it and you know this is something you are going to be wearing a lot, then maybe you can look into adding an actual suede outerwear piece. Just be prepared to pay for it because it does not come cheap. I have bought a budget option that I thought was really cool, and this is just fabric. It's still really scratching that itch I have for adding everything in suede at the moment, and I think suede is a fantastic piece to have on an essentials list because it is such a luxurious material. It's not something that feels too trendy. I think especially in these neutral colors, it just feels like a little bit more elevated and sophisticated. And if you have been on my channel for a bit, you will know that I love a good bit of texture in my outfits. I think it adds so much interest without trying too hard. Sometimes we try to overcompensate by over-accessorizing when all we have to do is kind of pare back and go very classic and basic. There are lots of options because, as I mentioned, this is definitely a little bit more of a trend. So again, something you just want to be mindful of when you are kind of working out the budget and where you want to prioritize your money for the wardrobe essentials this season. The next piece is less budget, but still not super expensive. This is from And Other Stories, and this is one of the pieces I am the most excited about this season that I have added to my wardrobe. Again, I talked about this in the autumn trends, and it is just such a cool piece. I can't get enough of it, and still it is classic enough to be considered an essential that I will be wearing for years to come. I looked at these last autumn and winter because they were quite popular at that point as well, but they are continuing their popularity, and I managed to get one that I really liked early enough in the season this time around. If you didn't catch that, the next essential is a cropped jacket. These are fantastic again for transitional weather, and because this is about 70% wool, this is something I will actually be wearing into winter as well. I just think it is fantastic for cooler autumn days or sort of early winter days because they're a little bit boxy and have a little bit of style. I think they add something to very casual outfits, something with jeans and a t-shirt, for example. I think it would also look really good over things like dresses and a maxi skirt. So it's just such a versatile piece. I truly think it deserves to be an essential in your autumn wardrobe. When it comes to outerwear that is not super trendy, I would always recommend sort of buying fewer pieces, buying less and buying a little bit better. Just personally, I find that you typically get the cost per wear of the outerwear pieces down rather quickly, especially if it's something that is sort of neutral or classic enough. The next essential I have is one that is well worth prioritizing for your autumn wardrobe, and that is a pair of brown boots. And these particular ones are from And Other Stories. I really like these. They have a very sensible heel height. They're very comfortable to wear. The heel looks black in camera, but in real life it's very dark brown. I think it is such a beautiful combination. But I really wanted to point out how well these work with the belt I have on right now. I also have a couple of handbags in this cognac shade, and I really want to make the point that if you are adding brown to your wardrobe, having just enough, not a ton, but having at least one belt and at least one pair of boots in that same shade makes it so much easier and so much more fun putting together outfits. So I have actually ordered a pair of boots that look like they are going to work really well with this handbag right here. I also bought a belt in that dark brown shade simply because I have noticed that it is so much easier, so much more fun to actually style outfits when the accessories feel complete and feel intentional and like they work together and not against you. So I have these brown boots that I ordered from Bershka. They look beautiful and they are knee high, again with a little bit of a higher heel, but just having a little variety in the heel heights and the shaft height of your boots as well is going to add so much more styling option to your outfits, and I just have a lot more fun with my outfits when I do that. It's something I think is worth prioritizing and investing in for your autumn wardrobe. I definitely think it's an autumn essential. It's adding so much warmth and just seasonality to your outfits, so it had to be on the list. Now we are going to stay with accessories, and this next one I would say is probably further down on the list in what I would prioritize, but I still think it is an essential. It is to me this season, and that is a burgundy accessory. And I bought this handbag right here. This has that half moon shape that has been so popular, or do you call it a banana bag? Personally, I just think it is such a beautiful color, and I can hold this up to every single other piece here, and it works with every other piece in my, I'm not going to say capsule wardrobe because it's not, but all the other essentials, simply because they are so classic. And this is leaning so dark, I almost feel like it's not a neutral, but I can style it as if it were. And personally, I think a handbag is probably the most convenient thing to buy because you can wear it pretty much every single day if you get something that fits your lifestyle, if you get a work tote or a crossbody, whatever kind of suits you best. I think you can really get a lot out of it for the season, and it's just such a gorgeous color for autumn, even when it's not going to be the color of the season anymore. So that is why I still felt like it was an essential on my list. It is definitely something that I have considered an essential in my wardrobe for this season. And just in case you are not super into handbags, I would also recommend shoes, another piece you can wear again and again and again to really get that cost per wear down and to pair it with as many outfits as possible when the trend is sort of strongest. Let's get on to something that I am quite excited to finally add back into my wardrobe, and that is a fitted blazer. Can we have some applause, please? Because I have been saying for years that even though the very oversized blazer has been super trendy, it has been the only thing to wear, and I have said again and again, just keep the ones you have, put them into storage, they're going to come back, and what do you know, they are back. So I have 3 examples. None of them are obviously sold anymore because the newest one is 3 or 4 years old, but I see these called a lot hourglass blazers, which means they still have like room up top and they still have a wider hip area, but I've had a lot of fun putting them back into my wardrobe now that they are coming back, because I I'm obviously going to style them differently now rather than what I did a few years ago. That might be a fun video. If you are interested in seeing that, let me know. If you do not already have some that you can take out of storage, maybe get one in a neutral shade, something that you can wear with a lot of different things. A blazer of some kind is always going to make my essentials list. It's just the way it is in my wardrobe and my life, and I love them and they are amazing. Okay, moving on. Now, I was planning on making this list like a nice round number, like 10. But then I bought this dress and I just think that a midi to maxi length dress is a fantastic option to have for autumn. It's so easy to just take all of our summer dresses and think that they are going to transition into autumn. And sometimes they really do, sometimes it really works. It's a fantastic way of getting more wear out of our summer pieces. But it's really nice to have something that also feels very autumn, and this color is just doing it for me. And I can't wait to layer this with the dark brown boots that I have ordered, and I can layer jumpers over. I can layer some of these like blazers will look great over as well for the days where I need something a little bit warmer than this dress. There are absolutely ways of sort of elongating the period of time where we can wear dresses despite it being kind of cool. I have quite often included knit dresses in my autumn essentials, so I'm not doing it this year because I have a feeling I will be trying to make some of these dresses work instead. It's just so beautiful. I can't stop talking about it. I sort of apologize, but this is going to feature in a lot of my videos, so there we are. You are warned. I did mention denim, so let's talk about the last piece, and that is dark wash denim. And I have talked about this at length as well. I think it is an amazing thing for the wardrobe to really switch out from the light wash denim that we wear a lot for summer, and often summer is so warm we can't wear full-length jeans, and then autumn hits and we're just excited to pull them out. But getting that dark wash really helps set the mood, at least it does for me, to really sort of signal to my brain and make all my outfits feel so much more autumnal. I really, really like it. So my favorite is definitely a sort of dark blue. You have all of the denim-y feel to it, and it still feels just a little bit more appropriate for the season we are in. So dark blue. I also have this dark grey acid wash for the days where I just cannot take having any colour in my outfit, because sometimes that happens. This one is from And Other Stories. You can see I have just cut off the bottom of them so they have that frayed edge. And I have bought several of their model of jeans. It's called the Slim. These do not have that same stretch and comfort level. As soon as I put these on, the first time I tried them, I knew they were going to be one of my favorite jeans, and they definitely are. So there we are. Those are all of my favorite autumn essentials. If you want more styling ideas around these pieces and the rest of my wardrobe, really, you can head over to my Instagram or to my LTK, where I have everything linked as well if you want to buy anything that I am wearing. And if you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below, or you can send me a DM over on Instagram. I love talking fashion and clothes and handbags and all of it, so you know, feel free to do that. I would love to hear what pieces made your autumn essentials list this year, and if you're interested in capsule wardrobes, then I will link all of my seasonal capsule wardrobes somewhere here on the screen. I find that it's typically a lot of overlap. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you very shortly in the next video. Bye!